Today, we're tackling a truly fascinating topic for CMA Part 1 Performance Management, Customer Profitability Analysis. We spend so much time in accounting looking at products and business units, right? But today, we're looking at where the human element directly collides with the balance sheet. And I'm going to make sure you're completely ready to master this concept.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today's session. We're going to cover the hidden cost to serve, the customer whale curve, activity-based costing mechanics, the customer profitability matrix, and finally, some key CMA exam strategies. I promise you, this structured lesson plan is exactly what you need to master these concepts.
All right, Section 1, the hidden cost to serve, beyond gross margin.
To really kick things off, we need to fundamentally shift our mindset. In customer profitability analysis, we're shifting our focus away from what we sell and putting it entirely on who we sell it to. I want you to imagine a classic exam scenario. You've got two customers, customer A and customer B. Both of them buy exactly $100,000 worth of goods from you this year. On the surface, their revenue looks completely identical. But let's look a little closer at their behavior. Customer A, they place one big, simple order a month, pay on time, and literally never bother your support team. Customer B, on the other hand, places 50 tiny, complicated orders, demands custom packaging, ties up your tech support on a daily basis, and pays 60 days late. Are they equally profitable? Absolutely not. No way. Even though the top-line revenue is identical, their true profitability is vastly different because of that hidden cost to serve.
So I want this next rule absolutely burned into your memory for exam day. Revenue does not equal profit. It's a classic multiple-choice trap that examiners just love to set. They're going to give you these massive revenue numbers to try and trick you into thinking it's a great customer. But as we just saw, gross margin alone paints a really incomplete picture. You've got to look deeper. Moving right along to Section 2, the customer whale curve, the dramatic profit shift. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the disparity looks when we zoom out and view our entire customer base. Just look at this massive 150 to 200% figure. When we plot customer profitability, it forms what we call a whale curve, and the results are incredibly dramatic. In a typical company, the top 20% of customers actually generate 150 to 200% of the total profits. I mean, they are basically carrying the entire weight of the company's profitability on their shoulders. Meanwhile, the middle 60% of your customers, they usually just break even.
But here's where the graph gets its name, and where you really need to pay attention for the exam. The whale curve has a dip at the very end. After peaking way up there at maybe 200%, the line dips sharply back down toward 100%. Why? Because that bottom 20% of customers are so horribly expensive and difficult to manage that they literally eat half the profit made by your top tier. So if you see a graph on your CMA exam where the profit line goes way above 100% and then drops like a rock at the tail end, you're looking at a customer whale curve. And that dipping section represents your most unprofitable, expensive customers.
Okay, Section 3, activity-based costing mechanics, finding the culprits. We know these unprofitable customers are out there, but how do we actually measure the damage they do? To find the culprits, we need a very specific tool, activity-based costing, or ABC for short. This is exactly how we uncover those sneaky customer-related costs. Instead of just taking all our overhead and spreading it evenly across all customers based on sales dollars, which, remember, completely hides the real problem, ABC assigns costs to the specific customer who actually caused the activity. If a customer demands high order processing frequency, if they require your sales team to constantly fly out for visits, if they always demand expedited shipping yesterday, or if they're constantly returning products, well, ABC tracks that. The specific customer causing the headache gets assigned the cost.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how we track those headaches. We simply map activities directly to their cost drivers. For ordering, the driver is the number of purchase orders. More orders literally mean a higher cost to process. For delivery, it's miles driven or the number of individual shipments. Frequent, small deliveries will absolutely crush your profit margins. Technical support is driven by support hours. High-maintenance clients directly drive up your costs. And payment behavior? That's tracked by days sales outstanding, or DSO. Late payments create a massive opportunity cost for your firm. Every single one of these specific drivers impacts the bottom line.
By tracking all of those drivers, we arrive at our ultimate goal, the customer-level margin. This is a definition you absolutely need to know. It's the true profit remaining after deducting the specific activity-based cost to serve for that particular customer. This right here is the truth that gross margin hides from you.
Let's move to Section 4, the customer profitability matrix, the 4 quadrants. Once we've used activity-based costing to find our true customer-level margin, we've finally got the data we need. Now, we can categorize our customers into 4 distinct quadrants based on 2 simple factors: their cost to serve versus their gross margin. Our first quadrant is the passive customers. These are your absolute stars. They bring in a high gross margin, and they have a wonderfully low cost to serve. They don't complain, they pay on time, and they buy in profitable quantities. From an exam perspective, the strategy here is super simple. These are highly profitable, incredibly easy to handle, and you must protect them from your competitors at all costs.
Next up, we have the carriage trade. These customers are high margin, but man, they are also a high cost to serve. Think of them as your premium, high-touch clients. They demand a ton of attention, custom features, and constant support. But the good news is they're willing to pay top dollar for it. Now, for the exam, remember this. They remain profitable only as long as you can maintain that premium price. The second they ask for a discount, they quickly become a major problem.
Down in the third quadrant, we've got the bargain hunters. These are your low-margin, low-cost customers. They're strictly buying on price, so they really don't pay much. But crucially, they don't cost much to serve either. They place standard orders, they don't need fancy tech support, and they just want a cheap, reliable transaction. These are your volume customers, and honestly, they're perfectly fine to have around, as long as you keep your service costs near zero.
And finally, we reach the danger zone, the aggressive customers. Low margin, high cost. These are your absolute profit suckers. This is the quadrant you really need to watch out for. They want a champagne, white glove experience, but on a tap water budget. They demand rock-bottom discount prices, but simultaneously expect premium, round-the-clock service. They are the exact ones causing that massive dip at the end of the whale curve we saw earlier.
So the crucial point is how you actually handle them on the exam. When a multiple-choice question asks for the strategic action regarding an aggressive customer, here are your definitive CMA answers. Step 1. Attempt to negotiate price increases to actually match the insane service they demand. Step 2. Force a change in their behavior. For instance, implement a fee for small orders or expedited shipping. And step 3, if they refuse to pay more and absolutely refuse to change their costly behavior, you literally have to fire the customer. Yes, you'll lose revenue, but your overall firm profitability will actually go up.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, CMA Exam Strategies, Bringing It Together.
You guys have absorbed some seriously high-level accounting concepts today, and I just want to say you're doing a fantastic job. Understanding this stuff makes you a truly strategic management accountant, not just a number cruncher. So let's transition into full test-taking mode and bring all of this together. Here is your golden rule for the exam. If a question asks you how to improve overall firm profitability, your eyes should immediately scan those options for something about reevaluating the service levels provided to low-margin, high-activity customers. Just remember, those hidden costs of service are the absolute key to unlocking these questions on test day. Gross margin is just the bait, cost to serve is the actual catch. All right, I want to wrap this up with a quick challenge to really test your active recall. If a customer has a very high gross margin, but they are located all the way down in the bottom tail of that whale curve we discussed, what must be true about their cost to serve? Think about it for a second. If they're in the bottom tail, they are actively destroying profit. So even with a high gross margin, the only possible way they destroy profit is if their hidden cost to serve is just astronomically high. They're a carriage trade customer that is tipped completely out of balance. Hold on to that logic, trust your preparation, and you're going to absolutely crush this section of the CMA exam. Keep studying hard, and I'll see you in the next explainer.